Today, let's explore a fascinating idea, the aerodynamics of deception.
So, have you ever wondered why a simple lie can feel, well, more truth than a complex truth?
It really boils down to this fantastic quote. The lie is aerodynamic. The truth is full of friction.
Okay, so to get this, we have to start with the truth. And let's be honest, it's usually pretty messy.
Yeah, the truth creates a lot of friction. It's nuanced, it's complex, and it's rarely just black and white.
There's actually a name for that mental effort it takes. Psychologists call it cognitive load.
Basically, the truth makes your brain burn calories. It's a real workout just to wrap your head around it.
All right, now let's flip it and look at the lie. By its very nature, it's designed to be smooth. A really effective lie is the total opposite of truth. It's simple, coherent, and tells a perfect story.
And that feeling of effortless understanding, that's what we call cognitive fluency. So you can really see the difference here. Truth is hard work. A lie just slides right in.
But why does any of this matter? Well, it all comes down to how your brain is actually built.
You see, your brain is all about saving energy. It's hardwired to take the path of least resistance.
That means it instinctively grabs onto whatever feels smoother and just easier to process.
This creates a really dangerous mental shortcut where our brains mistake how easy something sounds for how true it is.
The brain's logic is just wrong. It goes, hey, that was easy to get, so it must be true.
And all of this brings us to one final, really powerful image. Here's the key takeaway. A lie doesn't stick because we actually want to be fooled.
No, it sticks because it's perfectly, and I mean perfectly, shaped for our minds.
Think of it like this. The lie is shaped like a key, but the truth is a shapeless lump of clay.
That lie, the key, it just fits perfectly into the locks of our existing beliefs. It clicks, no effort needed. But the truth, that lump of clay, well, that requires us to do the hard work of shaping it ourselves.
So take these two statements. One is a dry, boring fact. The other is a straight-up alarm bell. So why does one stick around while the other one vanishes? Well, it's not logic, it's chemistry.
See, your brain has two different paths for information, and the route it takes all depends on feelings.
The first one goes through your prefrontal cortex. That's the slow, logical path for, well, boring stuff.
But a scary message? That takes a shortcut, hitting your brain's fear center, the amygdala.
And this isn't just a detour, it's a complete bypass of your rational, thinking brain.
This shortcut triggers an immediate and really powerful chemical reaction. An internal alarm goes off. Right away, your amygdala floods your system with stress hormones. We're talking adrenaline and cortisol.
So here's the chain reaction. A threat hits you, it triggers the amygdala, which unleashes those chemicals. And these chemicals do more than just make you anxious. They act as something called a memory fixative.
Think of it like this. A scary lie gets physically stamped into your brain with a chemical branding iron.
But the boring truth? Well, it just washes away like chalk in the rain.
Now, this isn't a flaw in your brain. It's an ancient survival tool designed to keep you safe.
So why does any of this matter to you today? Well, knowing this is your best defense.
Because once you recognize that emotional jolt, you can step back and start thinking critically again.
You know how a lie, if you hear it enough, starts to sound kind of true?
Well, that feeling isn't random. Something's actually happening inside your brain.
It's a famous cognitive bias, a mental shortcut, and it has a name.
It's called the illusory truth effect. So, how does this crazy illusion even work?
Your brain is just taking a shortcut. You could say it's lazy, but it's also really efficient. First, every time you hear something, a new pathway forms in your brain. Hear it again, that pathway gets stronger, and the signal travels way faster, and that speed feels good to your brain. It feels easy, kind of familiar. Now here's the kicker. Your brain mistakes that easy feeling for a sign of truth. And that's where huge confusion starts to happen in our minds. Basically, I've heard this before starts to feel the exact same as this must be true.
This is exactly why things like propaganda are so incredibly powerful. The lie just becomes the easiest file for your brain to pull from the cabinet.
So later, when you think back, what are you actually remembering? You're not remembering the truth, you're just remembering its echo. This little shortcut is constantly shaping how we see the world, without us even knowing it.
This quote really nails it. Some lies aren't just data points, they're structural supports for who we are.
So what's going on in our heads? This whole defense mechanism actually has a name.
It's called identity protective cognition. We basically shut down any info that threatens our spot in the group. You know, we don't think alone, we think as part of a tribe. And our identity is all wrapped up in that. So when a truth threatens your tribe,
Your brain literally treats it like a physical attack. The brain weighs the options, right? And the pain of social exile, it just feels way worse than being wrong.
And to avoid that pain, our brain uses this powerful tool called motivated reasoning. Here's how it works. A threat appears, your identity feels attacked, and your brain just starts defending the lie.
Okay, so does being smarter help you find the actual truth here? You might be surprised.
Nope. Often, it just makes you way better at defending the lie. It's kind of wild, right?
Smarter people are just better at finding flaws in other arguments and inventing really clever rationalizations.
So why does the lie stick so hard? Well, it's not about logic. It's about survival, or what feels like it.
Remember that load-bearing wall? It's not just holding up some idea, it's literally keeping your ego safe.
That's why the truth gets rejected. To your brain, accepting it feels like an existential threat.
Imagine you see a crazy headline, something like this, in a trashy tabloid.
Right away, you know the source is junk, so you just dismissing.
Well, the problem is how your brain actually stores this piece of information.
See, it doesn't file it all together. It splits the story from its source.
And here's where it gets interesting. A little time passes,
And you find yourself repeating the story. But wait, where'd you hear it? This little mental glitch actually has a name.
It's called the sleeper effect, and it's exactly what it sounds like.
At its core, the whole effect is a race between two memories in your head.
The memory of where you heard it, the source, fades way faster than the story itself.
So that mental warning label you put on it, poof, it just disappears.
And now the lie is just floating around your mind, totally untethered.
this leaves you with something we can call a zombie fact.
It just wanders around your brain until it feels like something you just know.
So the lie wins the long game just by waiting for you to forget where it came from.
It really makes you wonder, right? What other zombie facts are wandering around in your mind?